Once I learn that, and then in complement to find out where they are as far as their entrepreneurial education, then we provide them different services.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So if we need to take a step back and provide a franchise 101, we'll do that. If you have no knowledge or experience in entrepreneurship, then let's walk you through that process.
Right.
And I do that with my partnerships with like the local universities.
Okay.
Prince George Community here in the DC area, in Prince George Community College, Maryland, Bowie, try to push them into entrepreneurship seminars and training. So they learn about testing business ideas, customer discovery, marketing, customer management. You know what I mean? Like understanding those different levers so that when you are prepared to acquire that business, that you can stop and you can in that first day in the business, you can run that business successfully.
How much hard-headedness do you have to deal with people who think they know everything just because you got them in the game?
Yeah. Goes back to those courageous conversations.
Right.
Yeah. You really have to. It's that truth serum a lot of times.
Right.
The hard part, oftentimes, is educating people on entrepreneurship. Is that, especially when they go for financing. So we'll table that for later.
Yeah.
But really getting them to understand is that you're an entrepreneur, meaning that when you acquire this business, especially these franchise businesses, you're not just plugging the business and socking in the wall and money's going to spew out. That's not what's going to happen. You're going to have to put in that sweat equity. You know what I mean? So you have to be true to yourself. What professional experience have you had? Have you had management, leadership experience? Do you understand how to read a P&L? Do you understand the difference between what are your different revenue drivers?
Profit and loss.
Profit and loss.
Boom.
Yeah. So if you do not have experiences in those areas, then you have to fill those gaps through education. Such as Prince George Economic Development Corporation, we want you to be sustainable. We don't want you to open up and then 18 months later you're going out of business.
Right.
That's a disservice to the community.
That's right.
You know, so that education and being honest with them, and then the finance part. If they're looking for an investment vehicle that's above their financial profile, then let's explore some other options.
Okay.
And so that's the honest conversation we have to have with a lot of folks.
All right, Prince George's County, I got Hallie Williams. So I'm going to ask you the real questions now for the people that are really trying to figure out what their move's going to be. Hallie, what industries or franchise categories should Prince George's County entrepreneurs be paying attention to right now?
Yes.
Take them out of Fantasy Island.
There
Where should they be really focusing their interests if they want to get into the franchise business?
Things that I see now is trending is self-care.
Self-care.
Yeah. So
like the hand and stone,
like a massage. Well, and the self-care industry is growing so much. So it's the med spa, it's the traditional spa, it's the health services. You know what I mean? And so that industry has grown so much. And then we always going to have home services.
Okay.
You know, in the home service industry is taking care of the home. You know what I mean? And a lot of those.
So like the cleaning ladies,
inside the home and outside the home.
Interesting.
You know what I mean? Because one thing we know is that people expand their footprint of the home. You know what I mean? And so those home service businesses are always going to be needed. What people also need to realize is that there's contracts in all these different businesses. You know, we call them home services, but anything that touch plumbing, HVAC, lawn care services.
Nobody thinks about these.
They don't. Something as simple as parking lot. I had a client who wanted to talk about park lot lines. So a striper. So the lines in a parking lot. Something as simple as that.
What?
You know what I mean? Those are opportunities.
They got franchises for that?
They got franchises for that.
Where the white paint at? Give me some white paint right now.
There you go.
I'm ready to go. That's crazy.
There you go. And that helps the beautification of these commercial districts that we see. So different things like that, I share with people to think outside the box when it comes to businesses. And then senior care. We know our seniors are living longer, providing, and so we need those supplemental services because hospitals, you want to get the seniors, provide them with those wraparound services because we know they live longer when they're close to their families. You know what I mean? And so those are also industries that are doing well.
What is the biggest mistake entrepreneurs make before signing a franchise agreement, and what red flags should make them slow down or walk away? Yeah.
So one thing I always share with any entrepreneur, you need to have an attorney.
Yeah.
That's
stop being cheap.
Stop. You got to cut the check. You have to cut the check because in franchising, it is an agreement. It's a partnership between you, an aspiring entrepreneur, or aspiring franchise owner, and the franchisor. And so you need someone to really read that agreement, those disclosure documents, make sure you're clear and understand what's expected of you and what's expected of them. Right. So that's the first thing I see too many people do is jump into the agreement without having an attorney review those documents.
Too excited.
You know what I mean? Got the idea.
Yeah.
The other part I see is not getting your financing in place. You have to make sure you have your finance in place, not only to acquire the business, to sustain the business. So that working capital. You really have to take your time there. And then third, if it's a location-based business, because we're talking about franchise, it could be a mobile business, it can be, but if it's a location-based business, you have to work with Economic Development Corporation and other resources to find that location. Do not sign that franchise agreement if you don't have a location in mind.
That's right.
So those are the 3 challenges that we see. And as much as you try to educate people on the front end,
right,
I think people get excited, you know what I mean, and they want to close that deal. But before make sure they have their attorney review contracts, make sure they have their finance in place, and they have a location in mind.
I love it, man. Shout out to Anthony Jeffrey, our restaurant and retail business development director. He's the one that does that here. Hallie, how can people get with you? I know you've now sparked a bunch of new people that want to get into the franchise game. How can they connect with you? Please let them know.
Yeah. So we're at rightnextdoor.biz and on all of our digital channels at rightnextdoor.biz, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. Definitely reach out to us and let's do a consult. On our website, you can click to schedule a one-on-one. And I share with people, if you're thinking about having an idea of entrepreneurship, reach out to us. Let us know, and then we'll work with you along your entrepreneur journey.
Yeah, and if you see me with Hallie, just know I'm getting free burgers.
There you go.
Because I know now he's the plug. Today's conversation with Hallie Williams reminds us that entrepreneurship does not always have to begin with a blank page. For many business owners, aspiring entrepreneurs, and investors, franchising can offer a structured pathway into ownership, but only when it's approached with education, preparation, and the right team behind you. Here in Prince George's County, we're a community filled with talent, ambition, and entrepreneurial energy. The opportunity is to connect that energy to models that can create jobs, activate commercial corridors, build wealth, and keep more economic activity rooted right here at home. Because in Prince George's County, expansion starts here.